And then I say all that. I say all of that because the next point we have written up is that there are a lot of cases and scenarios within the medical system where pregnancies or hernias or certain things are not taken as seriously because it's a Black woman, because it's a Black man. More likely for Black women. Let's focus on Black women for this thing, because all the stories I have in my mind, all the articles I've read were for Black women. I'm sure it may happen to Black men as well, but I just focus on this for now. So, how do I even segue? Okay, so from me saying all that to now, I understand why there's so many stories of being misdiagnosed and so many stories of being told, oh, nothing's wrong, or you're okay, just go home, sleep it off, take these pills and you'll be fine. Nothing's clinically wrong with you. You're not in danger. Right? I understand where all these come from. You know what I mean? I understand when there's people in residency, the first year of residency, that actually believe that these things are biological facts. That biologically, these things are true. The nerve-ending thing is kind of the biggest thing that sticks out. Everything was messed up. Everything didn't make sense. The nerve-ending thing was very interesting. Because this example, I don't have a Canadian example, but I do have a personal example. So this is a Jamaican hospital. Obviously, my family's Jamaican. But when my grandmother was giving birth, she was kind of describing how much pain she was feeling, and she was going into labor and all this, and her water was breaking and blah, blah, blah. I'm not too familiar with the process of giving birth, but just from the gist of the story that I was told when I was a lot younger, I remember. The nurses didn't take what she was saying seriously, and she got to the point where she actually got up, physically had to get up to go get a nurse to take a look at her for the pain that she was experiencing. And then as she got up and moved, my mom kind of decided to exist into this world and come forth at that time. Yeah, and she was by herself. She had to take care of that entire thing by herself. There's no nurses, no doctors. They're there watching her, monitoring her, taking care of her, because they believe that she was all right. Because I guess it's a certain time frame, no matter how much pain you feel, there's a certain time frame from when your water breaks to when you actually physically give birth. So I guess I'm trying to rationalize it, Brian. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I guess maybe they thought, oh, it's too soon, your water just broke. There's no way you're about to be physically. I don't know. I'm an engineer. If it's not made with nuts and bolts and metal, I don't want it. I don't get it. So I don't know the whole biological reasons as to maybe why they thought this. But I know this is actually something. And the case study, or the study actually proves that this is actually something that some medical people that are in the medical field actually believe. They actually think this is an actual fact, which is insane. Okay, then we'll just again we're just trying to bring awareness to certain things, say our opinions, say how we feel. But I don't even know what to say either. I've said all I can say. That was just don't kill me. Please don't, because again, I just this goes perfectly into mental health. So the next kind of major point that we wanted to touch on. How do you make time, given these whole situations? I'll give you a personal situation. Once the George Floyd videos had been out for a couple of days before I actually took the time to watch it. I was so scared of watching it, right? I was scared of watching it because I didn't want to feel bad. I didn't want it to actually have I don't want my mind to have a physical effect on my being. I watched the video. And that same night, I couldn't sleep, Brian, because I was just thinking in my head. Because understandably, I put myself in that situation. What if I was George Floyd in that situation? I understand that there is whatever anybody might have to say about what's happening before the video actually started. Whatever anybody wants to say about why the police were actually called. I don't care. Even though the police should have been called for a fake $20 bill that was actually a real $20 bill. But whatever, that does not matter. It doesn't matter if the police was called for a right or wrong reason. All that matters is that somebody was legit suffocated to death on camera, and I watched that by a police officer, by English by a police officer, and I watched that, and I couldn't sleep, bro. I was messed up. I legit, you know, we have online classes. I did not go to an online class for the next 2 weeks, fam. I legit was on lockdown mentally. I mentally was on lockdown, fam. We were talking about quarantine or physically on lockdown. Mentally, my mind wasn't doing nothing. I just wasn't. Like, and all I could do is just laugh at how messed up the situation is. That's often what I do, because that's all I can do, right? But yeah, that had a physical effect on me. And that's just one case of how your mental health, how you feel mentally, your M under the FEMPS, how that can have a physical effect on your being. So, yeah, with that being said, Brian, you're a resident, uplifting, happy, positive person. How, hey, one of us has to be. I'm the sad one, and I'm the pessimistic, realistic, whatever one. You're the optimistic person. You have to be, because I'm not. How do we find time to treat our mental health in these stupid situations, in these very stupid situations, to put it lightly? But that's the worst thing, Brian. That's the worst thing. No, I mean like, okay, my point is with Corona, and with the whole black people being shot for no reason thing, it's oftentimes out of your control. Like, no one expected this Corona thing to happen. No one expects to just be choked out on the street and suffocate to death and cry for your mother in your fleeting moments. No one expects that. You didn't wake up that day and say, okay, this is gonna happen. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm mentally prepared to experience this. No one expects that. So how do you even? And then it also, sorry to interrupt you because you were doing, sorry, but like that goes into the whole thing of me being a male and I'm not fully comfortable. This is a weakness that I have within myself. I'm not fully comfortable feeling my emotions, right? So how do I even, like, what do I even, like, what? Like, yeah, I'm like, mhm, mhm. Well said, well said. Um, you have, no, yeah, thank you. I understand. But then you have maybe a list of 10, we just listed off some stuff. You have like a list of 10 things along the lines of maybe working out, doing poetry, going for walks. Maybe you do 5, I'll do 5. So let me participate. You'll do 5, I'll do 5. That's true. That's true. For me, my 5 would probably be going on walks, like going on walks, remaining active, working out, reading the Bible. But that's okay. I'm talking about me personally. Let me try to get more general. Let me try to think. Yeah. Yeah, but I have to be general because not everyone is gonna pray or read the Bible. That's up to them. Okay, so walking. I think walking is general. Listening to music. Um, Probably I would say maybe just talking to somebody that feels the same struggle you're going through. Go back and forth, see what each other is saying, type of thing. Eating. I like eating. I think eating is a good way. Maybe not too much. Maybe don't eat unhealthy. But a wise person once said, "It's hard to feel 2 things at the same time." Not that it's impossible, it's hard to. So if you're hungry and maybe it's feeding into your sadness, feeding into your mental state, maybe getting some food would be better instead of just chilling on the couch, like I was, not really doing anything. Maybe doing something, starting something would be better. Yeah, yeah, I know. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Everything else that I can think of is like personal. It's like me personally, I wouldn't expect other people. Yeah, try to be as generic as possible. Did I cough? Yeah, I heard that. And then another point that um that we were meant to talk about was don't compare yourself to other people at this point in time. And this point was kind of posed to me, right? I was trying to source points to talk about. This point was kind of posed to me because a lot of people are doing a lot in terms of like Instagram. You know, they're posting a lot of good stuff on Instagram, posting a lot of content, doing the best they could be, really utilizing this time to the fullest, or appearingly so. They're appearing to utilize this time to the fullest. But what I want people to realize is that Instagram is not someone's life. For example, during the whole rioting riots and stuff like that is still going on again, because even though it's not in the news, because I guess news doesn't care anymore. But yeah, during the time where it was more prominent in the news, I was very quiet, and I was very quiet because I was recovering mentally, because I was not ready for that video. I just wasn't ready. Even though it's been happening, even though I've heard stories and seen kind of videos from 2016 when Black Lives Matter first started. Even though I know I've seen clips, like black and white clips of what's happened in the 40s and 50s and 60s, right? To people in America and some parts of Canada as well. Even though I've known all that, that video still had different, and I just wasn't ready. And I had to take time off to kind of like reflect and think and research and figure out what is it do I feel. Because I'm not used to feeling like I'm not really someone that is used to feeling a lot of like emotion or emotionally strong about a certain subject or thing. But that hit different. So I had to like really convene, you know, how do I feel? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna act? What's my next move? How am I gonna recover from this, essentially? So you wouldn't have known that from my Instagram, right? You wouldn't have known that from any social media. And me, naturally, I'm just not someone to post on social media. I could have all the money in the world, but you're never gonna see it on social media. You might see me post a picture with nice shoes. You might see me post a picture of me in a different place that I only could have gotten to by driving, but I will not post that I have a car. Maybe I'll post that I'm at the beach some random time, and a couple of hours later I'll post that I'm at home. I mean, the only way I can get between those two places is if I have a car, but I'm not going to post that I have a car because it's not people's business, right? I'm not going to tell people my business. And some people have the opposite mindset of me. They're not going to post the smallest things. They're going to post the best things, right? Some people only post the best of their life, and if that's all that's good in their lives, then I don't think you should envy them. I think you should feel sorry for them. Because they're posting everything in their life. They're pouring out their social media. They're not harboring any for themselves. Not taking time to really think about themselves. They're not taking time to reflect, right? And I think my perspective and the perspective of someone that posts everything, they're both flawed. I think you should properly use Instagram. Do what Brian does. He doesn't post everything. People don't know everything in Brian's life, but they know as much as he wants them to know. They know as much as he is promoting certain things and publicizing certain things. That is a good way to use it, obviously. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that don't compare yourself with people when you don't know the full capacity of what they're going through in their lives. Because it's the grass is always greener paradox. Just because Brian appears to have a better life than me, right? Just because the grass appears to be greener on the other side, on the other foot or whatever, does not mean that if you were to live that person's life that you'd be happier. It does not mean that that person is going through an objectively speaking, better life than you. Because there's so many different niches, so many different situations, so many different caveats within a person's life. Like human beings and being a human and living as a human is so complex, right? There is no way to fully judge just from an Instagram post, just from social media, fully judge what someone's going through, fully judge what someone's experiencing, fully judge if their life is actually meaningful or happy, or if they're happy, or if their life is actually good. Just don't compare yourself. And that's not even just social media or with productivity. That's don't compare yourself to anyone at all. Unless it's positive and it's for constructive purposes. Don't ever compare yourself to someone. Okay. Oh, the next topic. Kind of getting used to all the pain and getting used to all the foolishness that we've been dealing with. Kind of like desensitization. You know, you get desensitized over time after you experience a certain thing over and over and over again. It starts to mean less to you, starts to be less impactful. And then you start to wonder if people actually truly even realize how much times this thing has happened. When you see other people react so intently, kind of start to like wonder, do people not like understand that this has been happening? That type of thing. And you just don't feel it anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's happening with the virus, and it's also happening with um racialization, racism. What's racialization? Where did that word come from? What is racialization? I don't know. I deserve to be paged. Page me after the podcast. Um, but yeah, that's how I feel with racism, with the whole black people dying and mans being treated because they're a certain race, and people of color being mistreated in certain social situations and social environments, and all the stereotypes and all the foolishness. It's just long, bro. It's been going on for so long. It's been existing for so long. Like, I understand why people are just not as sensitive to it. They don't react as harshly. They don't react as intently. How do you feel about desensitization, and what's one way to stay sensitized? Put it simply, what's one way to regain the vigor and the emotion and the passion that we felt when all this first kicked off and when COVID first started? And how do you? And another thing, but with the whole context of COVID, when I say desensitization, I'm like, we're getting used to not going around. We're getting used to chilling in the house. We're getting used to not talking to people, not touching people, wearing masks. And I feel like it has positives and also has negatives. Or we're gonna suffer socially as a culture. We're getting used to not being as warm and welcoming. What do you think of all that? All the words that I just spat at the screen. Mars. Yeah, that could be it. That could be exactly it. And then if you like me, feel like this whole thing is the trend for the news cycle, you know, really publicizing certain things you don't really want. They're not really publicizing the real issues, just publicizing things that are attention grabbers, you know, trying to stay profitable. Because at the end of the day, it's all about money. And I feel like this is also a trend for a lot of people's hearts, like internally. I feel like a lot of people don't really care about this issue long term. Just do what Brian said, think long term. Assess, reflect, think long term, and then invest in long term solutions. Invest in connecting with people who can make a real change over a long term time frame. And this is a complex issue. It really does. The issue being obviously of racial discrimination, the issue being COVID-19, the issue being discrimination against women. Those are such complex and long-term issues that have been founded and based on and so deep-rooted into society that those are just not going to go away overnight, obviously. They require very complex long-term solutions. And that takes a very long time. It probably won't be in our lifetimes in which any of those problems are being close to. So obviously COVID, I feel like COVID will be solved within our lifetime. Me personally, Brian, I don't think the other two problems be solved within our lifetime. I pray that they are. It'd be cool. It'd be nice to see a world like that. It'd be cool. True. Well said. And then it was a recommendation to just list off some successful Black people, you know, just to kind of support during this time, that people that you notice that's really been on it. I don't know if you know any. The person said to list off 10. You could do 5, or as many as, no number, bro. As many as you could think of successful Black people you want to highlight, to this point in time. So do you want me to go first, or? Yeah. Oh no, like name like 10 successful Black people that motivate, I guess, us, because it's in the theme of motivation. That's what we're just talking about. Yeah. Hey, 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 336. Hey, don't be making me do more work. Um, Person I like to start off with, um, Jeffrey Ampong, someone that really motivates, just having the foresight, right, to start your own business and to really pursue it, really dedicate time to it, and to actually put out a pretty decent product. You know what I mean? Pretty good product. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know like all of them. Yeah, I know. You know. You know. Yeah. So yeah, Jeffrey motivates. You know, he's successful in his time, putting in work, grinding, having some nice work ethic. See him working out, posting challenges and stuff like that. Yo, yo, don't feel me. Oh, another one would probably be Malik. Malik is putting in time, effort into a different Kinggsz. Yeah, putting in time and effort into a different aspect. You know what I mean? Grinding, trying to be a producer, actor, writer, everything in between. Grinding, putting in time in the background. His work is probably not as visual as Jeffrey's, but a lot of writing. He's promoting his business in the background, trying to get the foundation. I just think his prep work and his dedication, and how much he stuck with this this whole idea of being a director and everything for I think a couple of years now. I just think he deserves some recognition for that. And last one, probably Francis Asa. I don't know if you know who that is. Guy that wrote the book The Flip. Yeah, yeah, that's tough, especially at his age. I've never expected that. You know, I just think he deserves some big ups. Oh man, shout out to The Flip. Y'all should read that. Um, and yeah, those are my three all stars, inspirational people. Okay, last topic of this conversation, bro. This isn't a podcast. This is a large cast. I don't know. I don't know what it would be. I don't know how to translate that. This is a long amount of time. For those that are listening, you see the time frame because you can post the entire audio. But for those that are watching on YouTube, you're not aware of how long. Maybe you should add up all the parts. You'll get the time. But I'm gonna cut stuff out, so you still won't get the full time. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. We definitely have to address it. Um, And then last thing is online entrepreneurship. This is something a lot of people have been thinking about. People want to get into stuff like that, especially in this time when you can't. It's not really guaranteed you're going to be able to go to work, or it's not safe to go to work in this time frame. So it's like a lot of people want to start being their own entrepreneurs, developing their own business, their own brands, mobily, socially, and stuff like that. So it's like, what would be a good way to start that? You know what I mean? From what we've done individually, business wise, what do you think would be a good way to start that? And what type of things do you think should be done as a good foundation for that process? Facts. Brian, I know. I look at statistics every day. Brian only looks at our channel, YouTube channel, as well as audio statistics every month. And I'm just there reacting, freaking out. This guy's just there chilling. So yeah, definitely this is what Brian's saying. Because then maybe only looking at it every day or every week isn't an accurate representation of like what people actually feel about your content. And being able good promoter, starting a side hustle, you could also add that to your business, not by directly saying that you have a side hustle for your main business, but like learning how to promote could improve your effectiveness and your efficiency to your side hustle. Just like going to school on time teaches you good time management that you could then apply to going to work on time. These skills are they may be soft skills, they're not like math or science or anything, but are directly transferable. You learn so many things from starting your own business and trying to promote it and building it up and all the groundwork, right? Because when it's a small business, you're the only one there. You don't have a social media marketer, you don't have an accountant, you don't have somebody to do all that. You have to do all of that yourself, right? So that takes away from your overall effectiveness, right? So that's just one thing. And then over time, once your business grows and you hire more people, you're able to do everything. So when somebody's not doing something to the level that you want it to be done, the level that you're doing it by yourself, or juggling everything else, you can then page them and say, I was doing this before you were working here. I was doing it this efficiently. I was doing it by myself while I was doing everything else, right? This is how I did it. This is how you can do it so that we can both get a better outcome so that business can grow. So yeah, man, that's all the topics we have for this week. Oh, what do you want to say? And as it fades away, so does the time for this podcast. So I'd like to thank you all. Shout out to, Free Hong Kong. You know, somebody has to get arrested for what happened to Breonna Taylor. Because if you don't know about it and you don't think somebody has to be arrested and you're not harboring the same opinion as me, research about it, come back to me, we'll talk about it, and explain to me why you don't think someone deserves to be arrested for a murder. So come back and explain that to me. Like me. Like it's defending. Hey, if I feel like no matter who you are, no matter what you believe, if you look at the case objectively onto what actually happened to her, I think you'll come to the same conclusion that somebody needs to be arrested. Just I don't doesn't matter who it is. Somebody needs to be arrested for what happened. Something so justice needs to occur. But whatever. Yeah. Oh, as I said before, let me just reinstate it because we kind of went on a tangent. Um, our prayers with Lebanon right now. Oh, bro, I don't even have words. I don't even want to. Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about certain things like that. We also didn't talk about what's happening in Hong Kong because Brian and I don't know about Brian, but I personally don't know. The thing that's happening in Lebanon is so much deeper than I'm aware. And if I'm talking to Mr. Yamin, Mr. Yamin, it was our high school teacher. He was from there, or his background is there. Because he knows a lot about what's happening in the politics and how the people are being mistreated and how there's not a lot of care and how there's a lot of distrust in the government, stuff like that before the explosion even happened. So our prayers are out with you. As always, prayers always go out to every place in the world because Lebanon's been suffering for a minute. A lot of countries been suffering for a minute. Hong Kong's been in turmoil for a minute. So yeah, yes, because we're not qualified to have that conversation. You know what I mean? I wouldn't feel comfortable. Yes, and so much context. There's only so much research. Yes, so much background. Okay, okay. Stop relying on us. But yes, that being said, yo fam, nice. For that being said, thank you for all the people listening on the audio side. You can go check out the YouTube. Yo, nice. You go check out the YouTube one time if you want to. You do you, fam. You listening is enough. But we do have a YouTube. We're there chilling, creating content too. Um, and then we also have what is it called? Brian also has his own thing. Go check out Brian. He does his poetry, does his workouts, getting D's, getting swole, does challenges. Oh yes, motivational speeches. Thank you. Yeah, that's the name of that's the name of his thing. Um, and yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, Google it. Google it because there's no need for us to put the information in all the bios. You can just put a link to the thing that has all the links or whatever. That's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Just Google it. Just Google it. Appreciate it. No. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Round table, round table, round table, round table. Sound. Kinggsz, you didn't know I was the best ever. My favorite number 4 because I'm forever. Round table gang, do you wanna be a member? We celebrate every time we come together. I would rather ever than for you to lie to me. Honestly, over someone that is trying to be someone you're not, you're still gonna lie after